It was the personal responsibility of the Prime Minister to invite President Zelensky to the floor of this House of Commons. It was his personal responsibility to make sure it was a diplomatic success.
Please listen for a sec, then I'll tell you what I think.
No, I see these guys all the time.
I kid these guys all the time. Oh, that Trudeau. He is, that's one of the... Look at Pierre Poilievre's clothes, his suit, and the way he stands. Who the hell dressed him? Can you imagine him on some political stage looking like that?
Proud to come originally from Western Canada, where there are many proud Ukrainians who helped build our country. One of them is Senator Batters, who is with me here today. He represents neighboring Saskatchewan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good time, President Zelensky, Senator Batters, all ancestors are Ukrainian. My grandmother embroidered this blouse 100 years ago before she came to Canada, working in New York. Thank you for defending Ukrainian homeland from Ukraine.
Why the hell are they kissing Zelensky's ass? He's the one that wanders the world looking for money and weapons. We are obliging. He should be kissing our ass, getting on his hands and knees in front of us. Back when I used to work in construction, this is the time that guys would put their fists kind of up against their nose and go ee. In other words, they got their noses up his ass.
1 million Canadians fought Nazism in the Second World War, and for a country then of 11 million, that was pretty damn impressive recruiting. And they were all recruits there to fight Hitler in Europe of their own volition.
Well, hello there, all my friends. Yes, the angry Canadian trying to, just stay calm in this bullshit world we're living in. Yeah, back in World War II, out of 11 million population, a million, that's nearly 10%, volunteered to go fight in something they believed in. Whether it was right or wrong, it doesn't matter. They volunteered. How much of today's young wokesters would volunteer now to go fight? Like I really would, but the noise. Really, the noise would bust my brains open. Really, can't they just make bombs that just kind of go really quiet, and when they explode, it'd be like just air rushing? They got to do something, because, when I went to university studies and people were being loud, I had to go to a room to just gather my thoughts together, because this is just really way, way over the top. And food. What are we going to eat when we're over there fighting? I have a very specific diet. I can't just go running off and screw my diet up. Come on, folks. Make the wars more human. Right? Man, it is so screwed up. And as for Trudeau, this House of Commons incident, like how He knew nothing about, he friggin' doesn't know anything. He didn't know anything about SNC Lavalin. He didn't know anything about that charity with his mom and whoever else were involved in. He didn't know anything about anything. He's just there because he says what Soros and Gates and Klaus Schwab and little Greta and whoever else want him to say. He's the biggest puppet ass out on the world stage. And now the world has known it for a while, but they're just gonna shake their heads. You know, India, Russia, Ukraine, whoever. This is all screwed up.
We have here in the chamber today Ukrainian-Canadian world veteran from the Second World War who fought the Ukrainian independence against the Russians and continues to support the troops today, even at his age of 98.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Today is an opportunity for us, the people of Canada, represented by the amazing Canadians gathered here tonight, to say to the brave people of Ukraine, through their remarkable leader and his amazing wife, Olena.
Oh, F off! His amazing wife who spends money like, well, she's a queen. You know, we don't know what Zelensky's worth. Is it, you know, a few $100 million? Is it many hundreds of millions? Is it a billion, billion and a half? He was exposed in the Panama Papers, for Christ's sake. He's got oligarchs. Ukraine isn't a democracy. You can't run against Zelensky. The media is under government control. I guess just the same way as it is here now in Canada.
Tonight is our night to say to them, we will keep the faith. We will never abandon you.
I absolutely despise this woman. To me, she's a pure evil. She's on the World Economic Forum Board of Trustees. She's Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Finance. She's more friggin' important than Trudeau. Trudeau can go off on his vacation. She'll look after stuff. That's scary friggin' thought, people. Scary shit that she is in charge so much. An evil, evil woman. And then she talks about faith. And then she talks about, we won't abandon you. Look at the goddamn streets in big and medium and small cities in Canada. And look at the homeless. Look at the people struggling paycheck to paycheck to feed their family.
Our determination is absolute.
For what?
Now, one of my favorite poems is written by a Ukrainian poet called
But of course it is, my
Ivan
dear.
Franko.
But of course.
It's called To the Great Moment. До великого моменту. When President Volodymyr Zelensky made his first visit to Canada, to Toronto, in July of 2019, shortly after his election, I quoted a passage from that poem. while introducing him. Here's that passage. До великого моменту будь готовий кожен з вас. Кожен може стати богдан.
You ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
Ever served in a forward area?
No, sir.
Ever put your life in another man's hands? Asked him to put his life in yours?
No, sir.
We follow orders, son. We follow orders or people die. It's that simple.
Now, there's one thing you might have noticed I don't complain about. Politicians. Everybody complains about politicians. Everybody says they suck. Yeah! Well, where do people think these politicians come from? They don't fall out of the sky. They don't pass through a membrane from another reality. They come from American parents and American families, American homes, American schools, American churches, American businesses, and American universities, and they're elected by American citizens. This is the best we can do, folks. This is what we have to offer. It's what our system produces. Garbage in, garbage out. If you have selfish, ignorant citizens, you're going to get selfish, ignorant leaders. And term limits ain't going to do you any good. You're just going to wind up with a brand new bunch of selfish, ignorant Americans. So maybe it's not the politicians who suck. Maybe something else sucks around here. Like the public.
You're a white woman with blonde hair.
Yeah?
That's racist. You are racist.
Right.
Yeah, the public sucks. There's a nice campaign slogan for somebody. The public sucks. Fuck hope. Fuck hope. Because if it's really just the fault of these politicians, then where are all the other bright people of conscience? Where are all the bright, honest, intelligent Americans ready to step in and save the nation and lead the way? We don't have people like that in this country. Everybody's at the mall, scratching his ass, picking his nose, taking his credit card out of his fanny pack and buying a pair of sneakers with lights in them. So I have solved this little political dilemma for myself in a very simple way. On election day, I stay home. I don't vote. Fuck them. Fuck them. I don't vote. Two reasons I don't vote. First of all, it's meaningless. This country was bought and sold and paid for a long time ago. The shit they shuffle around every 4 years doesn't mean a fucking thing. And secondly, I don't vote because I believe if you vote, you have no right to complain. People like to twist that around, I know. They say, well, if you don't vote, you have no right to complain. But where's the logic in that? If you vote, and you elect dishonest, incompetent people, and they get into office and screw everything up, well, you are responsible for what they have done. You caused the problem. You voted them in. You have no right to complain. I, on the other hand, who did not vote, who in fact did not even leave the house on election day, am in no way responsible for what these people have done and have every right to complain as loud as I want about the mess you created that I had nothing to do with. So I know that a little later on this year you're going to have another one of those really swell presidential elections that you like so much. You'll enjoy yourselves. It'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure as soon as the election is over, your country will improve immediately. As for me, I'll be home on that day doing essentially the same thing as you. The only difference is when I get finished masturbating, I'm going to have a little something to show for it, folks. Thank you very much.
All rise for the judge.
Judge, the special great one from Pontiac GTO. Her speed shifter, 3-speeder 4. Pontiac Ram Air, 366 horse. Mag-type wheels, 60-inch spoiler airfoil. The judge will rule. Judge, the special great one from Pontiac GTO. Pontiac Ram Air 400 cubes for action. Wide track, mag-type, polyglass shoes for traction.
If it seems to move you from there to here like that, you're in a 1969 Chevelle SS396. Try one of the 4 new SS396s. You'll be an instant believer. Chevelle SS396.
Introducing our tough one, the 1970 Chevelle SS396. It's a great performer, except for one thing. No one gives it a chance to perform. Not that we can blame them. After all, there's a lot to admire about the new Chevelle SS396.
Your car? Hey, what's that?
A no-nonsense cowl induction hood you can order that actually feeds in extra air when you accelerate. Functional hood pins.
Bobby pins.
No, these aren't Bobby pin hood pins, baby, and they're for real hood pins. This. Hey, 2 pipes. Gun it for me, will you, buddy? Oh, now, come on.
What's on belted fiberglass tires, aren't they?
Yeah.
Consider this fair warning. When you order your Chevelle SS396 at your Chevy dealer's sports department, expect to draw a crowd, no matter where you take it.
It has now come to light that Prime Minister Trudeau himself met with and honored this man prior to the speech, sparking allegations of a cover-up. With his office responsible for vetting all guests, Trudeau was under fire for allowing a Nazi into the halls of government and putting fellow MPs in the embarrassing position of applauding a soldier from Hitler's genocidal regime. The optics are devastating as Canada had hoped to showcase unwavering support for Ukraine against Russian claims of denazification. Now, opposition leader Pierre is leading the charge against Trudeau, accusing him of promoting the normalization of fascism. Jewish groups loudly protest and Holocaust survivors express their disgust. Trudeau must address this outrageous scandal threatening what Canada stands for as a bastion of diversity and anti-hatred. Welcome back to Street Politics Canada. Let me start off the video with a quote from Trudeau himself in 2013, and no, this is not a parody account. Trudeau says, and I quote, "It's hard not to feel disappointed in your government when every day there is a new scandal."
Bonsoir, mes amis. Thank you, Christia, for your words and for the incredible work that you've done day in and day out to direct our country in the right way, but also to make sure that we are standing up unequivocally for Ukraine every single day. Yeah, big round of applause for Christia. Before I begin, I know a lot of people have seen the tragic news out of Coquitlam today. I want to offer my condolences to the family of the RCMP officer who lost their life, and to the 2 officers who were injured. We are all wishing you a fast and full recovery. We will continue to follow the situation closely. It is so great to be here with you all tonight to welcome President Volodymyr Zelensky and the First Lady of Ukraine, Olena Zelenska. It is so great to see so many of you here come from across the country to celebrate this moment of solidarity. I do want to recognize all the extraordinary dignitaries in the front row here. First of all, Premier Ford, Doug, it's great to see you here. Thank you for standing so strong in Ukraine. Mayor Olivia Chow, thank you very much for standing up for Ukraine. I like the yellow and blue. It's very appropriate. Other mayors, officials, ministers, members of Parliament, members of the Canadian Armed Forces who are welcoming us here to their hall. It is so good to see all of you, but it is mostly so good to see so many strong Ukrainian Canadians here to stand for Ukraine. Que fournit le Canada provient de tous les ordres de gouvernement, des groupes communautaires et bien sûr de la diaspora. Le Canada en entier et solidaire de l'Ukraine. Canadian support comes from all orders of government, from community groups, from the diaspora. All of Canada is united behind Ukraine.
Mr. Speaker, look, the problem with grocery prices isn't that they're too high due to excessive carbon taxation. Let me be clear. That is misinformation being spread by far-right conspiracy theorists. The real issue is that we haven't been taxing groceries enough. I know I recommended canceling Disney Plus, but it's turned out that will only afford you several cans of dog food to feed your family each month. So we need to take alternate measures. We need to teach these greedy grocery store owners a lesson and make sure they stop thinking that they can profit from hard-working Canadians. And let's not forget the economic benefits of this plan. Think of all the jobs we can create to enforce these new grocery taxes. We'll need an army of bureaucrats to count your apples, weigh your potatoes, and determine exactly how much to tax our most essential goods. Job creation for Canadians at its finest. In conclusion, a great leader was once criticized for saying, "Let them eat cake." Thankfully, we have come a long way since then. And here in Canada, during a food crisis, I can proudly say, let them eat crickets. Thank you.
But what's great about them is that they're actually not unique. There are schools like that, and communities like that, right across the country, opening up their homes, their hearts, their communities to people fleeing horrific situations, showing the support, love, the solidarity that Canada is so known for. Ça me fait chaud au cœur de voir les gens aider les Ukrainiens dans nos écoles et nos centres communautaires partout au pays. Canadians have a reputation around the world for being welcoming, friendly, open. Thank you for demonstrating every single day that that is absolutely the case. You see, bullets and bombs can do a lot of damage.
There isn't a fuel line. You got something that moves?
Oh, I sure have. That Pontiac GTO over there. The car of the year.
Give me the keys.
Oh, you'd like to go for a ride?
Just give me the keys.
Yes, sir. A ride. That's the only way to tell how the GTO handles. It's really a driver's car. It's got wide track suspension. Did you notice the revolutionary new bumper on the GTO? We call it the Great One.
Get rid of him, Clyde.
You gonna take it? Right. How do you want to finance it?
Finance it, Clyde.
Pontiacs cost a lot less money than most people think. The great wide-track drive is on. See your Pontiac.
The 1960s was a decade of radical change, and the fashion of the era was no exception. Women's fashion in the 1960s was a reflection of the social, cultural, and political upheavals that were taking place at the time. Women were breaking free from norms and expectations of the past and asserting their independence and individuality. From the miniskirt to the maxi dress, the fashion of the 1960s was a celebration of creativity, freedom, and self-expression.
The one thing they can never take away is your sense of community. I've seen this sense of community when I visited Lviv, even in times of war, and I'm seeing it here in Canada every day. See, Canadians and Ukrainians have shared a special bond for a long time.
Applauding with North Korean levels of vivacity this man who fought the Russians in World War II. Did it not occur to them that that meant he was a member of the Nazi army fighting the Russians during World War II? Did it not occur to them?
Georgie, by all your years in government, parliament, opposition, you gotta know, it doesn't matter if it's German, UK, France, US, New Zealand, Australia. The governments are made up of stupid people who follow, not even orders. They just follow. They're followers. Like, if they had a brain, they might need to be ordered to do stuff that they might think about because they got a brain. But they don't. They don't have a collective brain cell between all of them. And sticking to Canada, really, what are people being elected on? Oh my God, you're the best choice. You're going to get Canada on the right track. You're so knowledgeable about world and Canada and everything. I mean, we just need people like you. Oh, I just about said the F-bomb. No. F-bomb, no. We elect people who are sheeple. We elect people who tote the line, who will follow. No matter where you go, we will follow you, Justin, 'cause we are so useless and dumb. Yeah, I'm losing it, man. I can't believe, these people in government in Canada, all of them standing in unison and applauding. Seals. Hello, seals. Oh. They're like seals. They're like sheep. Bah, bah. Oh, yeah. We don't know why, but if they're applauding, we'll friggin' well applaud.
In the summer of 2019, when that consequential moment would arrive, or quite how consequential it would be. But in the bloody trenches dug into its famous black earth, and in the war-torn streets of its proud and beautiful cities, Ukraine is today facing that most consequential of moments, that velike moment.